he said, hey, I had Johnny in my portfolio last month. Johnny never paid me. He's not going to pay you. I said, well, he's going to pay me. Don't worry. I called Johnny. Johnny, I never got the money. Do you have the address correct? Johnny says, hey, I don't have to pay my brother rent anymore, so I'll be able to pay you. I'll be able to get a check to you next week. Don't worry. It's going to come. So a week goes by. No check in the mail again. It takes me 3 to 4 weeks to get somebody to answer the phone at Johnny's house, and I get number 34 out of my book. That's my brother. He owes me money. Good luck. Click. So another 2-3 weeks goes by before I can get anybody else to answer the phone over at Johnny's house. And the guy, it's his brother again, he says, that's my brother. He moved to Decatur, Georgia to study with the Reverend Fletcher. Now this is where the story gets interesting, right? My boss, he's on my left shoulder over here all the time, is where he sits. I tell him, hey, he moved to Georgia to study with Reverend Fletcher. He says, he ain't going to pay you. I said, look, he can run, but he can't hide. So now Johnny becomes a skip. On Wednesday afternoons, collectors, when it's a little slow, we go to skips. Usually I'm running 500 skips. The goal is just to touch each skip once a month. But Wednesday comes along, Johnny's supposed to be at the bottom. I got a thing for Johnny. So I call Johnny first, or I'm working his file first. I figured, okay, it's the Reverend Fletcher in Decatur, Georgia. Now, it just happens that I know a thing or two about libraries, because that's what I do in my community service. Both times, right? So I called the library in Decatur, Georgia, and asked for the reference desk. I know they have the newspapers right there. And the lady that answered the phone, we're just going to call her ugly librarian lady. Because I told her this is Mr. Falls in San Antonio. Of course, names are changed in this whole story to protect the innocent, of course, or the debtors. So I said, hey, this is Mr. Falls. I'm looking for this guy. You know, I'm a bill collector in San Antonio. I'm looking for this guy. He's supposed to be studying with Reverend Fletcher. And she said, number 86 out of my book, she says, I ain't got time for bill collectors today, and hangs up. Boom. I'm figuring she's a debtor also. Right? So, next Wednesday comes along. Again, Johnny's supposed to be at the bottom of the file. I got a thing for Johnny. I pull his file first. I'm working him every Wednesday. Luckily, Decatur, Georgia has 2 libraries to match the number of stoplights, I guess, in the town, right? So I figure I'm going to change my attitude. I can't tell them I'm a bill collector. Got to come up with something. That, combined with the person who answered the phone on the other end, gave me a little success for the day. I got over to the reference, got to the library, transferred me to the reference section, and what do I hear out here? Reference desk, this is Peaches. How may I help you today? I said, oh, Peaches, hey, this is Mr. Falls. I'm coming to Decatur, Georgia next weekend, and I had a buddy who told me if I ever get down there, look up and let Reverend Fletcher. He's got a very moving service. I want to go to it. Any chance you can look at Saturday's paper for me? She says, hold on, sugar. I'll go get it. She comes back to the phone a couple minutes later. She says, sugar, it's right here. The Reverend Fletcher, he preaches at the Church of the Southern Holy Rollers right over on Carter Avenue. Thank you so much, Peaches. Have a blessed day. All right, so I'm not waiting until next Wednesday. I'm calling Johnny right there and then. So I dial the number, and ring, 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 ring. Church of the Southern Holy Rollers, Reverend Fletcher. How may Jesus help you today? I said, Reverend Fletcher, Mr. Falls, I was looking for Johnny. His brother told me he went to study with you in Decatur, Georgia. Is there any truth to that? And he says, Johnny B Debtor? He's sitting right across the table from me. You want to talk to him? Hands him the phone. How lucky could I be, right? I said, Johnny, I didn't receive the check. I just want to make sure you didn't have the address correct, or what's going on, Johnny? And he says, oh, Mr. Falls, I'm so sorry. A lot of things went sour with my brother and everything, and I had to leave. But I'm not paying rent here. They're paying for my food. I'm staying at the rectory. I'll be able to start paying on that debt. I said, okay, great. So he's out of skips. He's back into promises. I look over to my boss. I tell him the story. He heard half the conversation. He says, he's not going to pay you. I said, it doesn't matter. He can run, but he can't hide. Okay, he's in a church. He's making a promise in front of a priest. I'm going to get paid. I'm going to get paid, right? A week goes by, nothing. I figured they didn't get enough in the collection plate. I'm not sure. So I call up again, and I said, Johnny, my boss is going over my files. He wants to forward this to the legal department if I don't get a payment. I've got several broken promises, Johnny. And he says, you know what? I'm cashing in some treasury notes next weekend. I said, treasury notes? And at the time, I own treasury notes, so I believe they're worth, they got a big picture of U.S. Grant on them and everything. Yeah, treasury notes. I'm going to get paid. So he says he's going to pay me. He's going to be paying tuition next week, cashing in treasury notes. He's back in good promises. He's like, evil eyebrow boss, he's not going to pay you. He's not going to pay you. Okay, so a week goes by. Nothing in the mail. I call up. Church of the Southern Holy Rollers, Reverend Fletcher. How may Jesus help you today? It's Reverend Fletcher. It's Mr. Falls. There's Johnny there. Johnny moved. He signed up. He's starting at the Harvard Seminary School. I have no idea what church he'll be assigned to afterwards. I said, thank you, Reverend Fletcher. You have a blessed day. Okay. Next Wednesday comes along. Johnny's file up at the top, right where it's supposed to be. He's supposed to be at the bottom. Right? So he's at the top. Just so happens I got a calendar of Harvard in my kitchen. I see the red brick building all the time. I've got a friend. It's so funny, Fox man. I've got a friend who claims he went to Harvard. He gives me a calendar every year. I'm not afraid of calling Harvard. I call, and this is where my college education comes in, I call the bursar. This is Mr. Falls. I'm looking for Johnny. He's supposed to be in the latest seminary class. The lady that answered the phone, Miss O'Malley. I was like, she must run a bar or something up there. She was so Irish you could hear the red through the telephone, right? The red hair. She says, let me go get the roster. She says, okay, yeah, Johnny's right here on the roster. I said, can you tell me the telephone number to the dormitory where he's at? She says, there's no problem. He's in building 4, and it's 432-3244. I said, okay, great. All right, it's Wednesday. She also tells me the best time to get a hold of him is between 7 and 8 o'clock. Because, they church, school and eating, and that's the best time to get hold of them. I put a note on my computer, I put a note on my phone, I put a little sticky on my computer. I'm staying until 8 o'clock anyway that night. So at 7:10, I'm on Johnny. 7:10, I dial the number. 432-3244. Guess who answers the phone? Chad, guess who answers the phone?
Johnny.
No, it was another guy. Johnny was in the shower. He said, Johnny's in the shower. Johnny's in the shower. When you call back in about 20 minutes, I'll let him know to expect a call. So I said, okay, cool. All right, so 20 minutes later, it's about 40 minutes to 8 now. I'm getting ready to call back and everything. And I ring the phone. Ring. No one answers. Okay, so 5 more minutes goes by. All of a sudden, evil eyebrow, short boss, he's flicking the lights. Make it your last call, guys. Make it your last call. I tell him, hey, I got to get Johnny on the phone. This is the 3rd state I've got him in. He says, he's not going to pay you. I said, he can run, but he can't hide. So I'm ringing that phone again. 434-3244. Guy picks up the phone and says, hey, I'm looking for Johnny B. Person on the other end of the phone says, there's nobody by that name here. I said, Johnny, it's Mr. Fall from San Antonio. I recognize your voice, man. You can run, but you can't hide. And he goes, oh, God, you got me. You got me, Mr. Falls. But I got to tell you, I went to confession on day 2 here at seminary school. I've been absolved. I've told the priest about all the broken promises, about the debt. I've done my penance. I said, no, I've been forgiven. I said, no problem, Johnny. I'm going to close the file uncollectible due to divine intervention. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Michael. Such enthusiasm.
How long?